How are you, grade 9? I hope you are fine. I hope you already studied the lessons before. Today we're going to complete our lesson in chapter 9, lesson 9.9, the quadratic formula and discriminant. And after we finish the lesson, we're going to solve the exercise from your practice book. Okay, let's remember what we said. We said that the quadratic formula is my queen formula. Okay, quadratic formula is queen formula. Why? Because it can solve any quadratic equation. Any quadratic equation. Okay, but my equation, I must put it in the standard form: ax power 2 plus bx plus c equals 0. So x equals, did you memorize it? Negative b plus or minus square root b power 2 minus 4 ac over 2a. Okay, you must memorize it, so important. So I can solve any quadratic equation by this one. Okay, and we said if we're going to solve it, we're just going to substitute. But after I substitute, I will have plus or minus. What I'm going to do with this, I'm going to solve it once with positive and the other one with negative. So I will have two values. Okay, very good. And we said if I have a square root, don't panic. It's okay. Leave it as a square root and solve with one with positive and the other with negative. And after you solve it, you can use your calculator by getting it in decimal form. And approximate it to the nearest hundredth. Okay, very good. And we talk about the discriminant. What is the discriminant? The part which is under the square root. Or the radical sign. What is the part which is under the square root or the radical sign? B power 2 minus 4 AC. Okay, B power 2 minus 4 AC. And we said if I evaluate the discriminant, evaluate means I substitute each value and see what its value. If it's positive, then I have two real solutions. If it's 0, then I have one real solution. If it's negative, so I have no real solutions. Okay, again, the discriminant, which is under the radical sign or the square root, which is b power 2 minus 4ac. Okay, very good. And we saw here the discriminant greater than 0, two real solutions. Equal 0, one real solution. Smaller than 0, no real solutions. We're going to complete our lesson. There is no one correct way to solve quadratic equation. Many quadratic equations can be solved using different methods. Look at this example here. Of course, I can use the graphing method, and we took it in the last quarter. We took it. We find that x have two values, negative 6 and negative 1. By graphing how? The parabola intersect the x-axis in 2 points, which is negative 1 and negative 6. So these are my solutions. Okay? And solving by factoring, and we took it in the first lesson in this quarter, in fourth quarter, by making two brackets. X power 2 is x and x. 6 is what? 6 times 1. What factors of the x? 6 times 1. So 6 and 1. And here positive, so both of the two brackets are positive. And I'm going to split my paper, do you remember? And equal 0 each of the two brackets. X plus 6 equals 0, x minus 1, x plus, he forget it here, x plus 1 equals 0, then x equals negative 6, because 6 will go to the other side with positive, and here positive 1 will go to the other side with negative. Okay, so negative 6 and negative 1. Sorry, positive 6 will go to the other side with negative. Okay, very good. So this is this method. We took it in the first lesson in this quarter, in fourth quarter. Solving by completing the square. Do you remember the 6 steps that we talked about in the lesson before? How to do it? We're going to put the equation in the form of x power 2 plus bx equals c. equal C. So positive 6 will go to the other side with negative 6. Very good. Then I'm going to get b over 2 all power 2. What's b? b is the coefficient of x. Okay, so 7 over 2 power 2. 7 over 2 power 2. 7 over 2 power 2. So it will be what? 7 power 2 is 49 and 2 power 2 is 4. I'm going to add it in both of the two sides. Okay, then after I added, this became what? Perfect square trinomial. Perfect square trinomial. Get the square root of the first and the square root of the last term. X plus 7 over 2 all power 2. And here I'm going to add them. Add them using calculator. Negative 6 plus 49 over 4. So I will have it 25 over 4. Then this is but square root. So I'm going to take the square root here. And positive or negative, don't forget, positive or negative, the square root. Okay? So positive or negative, square root of 25 is 5. Square root of 4 is 2. Then I'm going to split my paper. And solve once with positive and the other one with negative. Then I get the two values of the x. Okay? If you want to revise this part, it's in the YouTube channel. You will find the lesson of this. Okay? All the lessons here. Now, using the my queen formula or quadratic formula. Do you remember the queen formula? Quadratic formula? Negative b plus or minus square root b power 2 minus 4 ac over 2a. Okay, remember? I'm going to substitute in my quadratic formula. Then I'm going to have here what? Positive or negative. So I'm going to split my paper and solve one with plus and the other with minus. So I have two values. Okay, very good. So you notice that all the methods that we took, it gives me the same solution, which is negative 1 and negative 6. But look here, I have here each method and its advantages and disadvantages. Graphing always works to give approximate solutions. It's not exact solution, okay? It's not exact solution. Factoring is a good solution, but we have maybe complicated. Sometimes it's complicated one, okay? Using the square root, it's nice if I don't have x term. If I don't have x term, that means x power 2 equal 9. This easy. But what about x power 2 minus 4x equals 7? It will be much difficult, okay? So it cannot be easy when I have a term which is x term. Completing the square always work, but I will have difficult calculations. What's my queen here? My quadratic formula, okay? Always works, can always find exact solution, okay? Okay. But maybe other methods here may be easier in some cases, in simple cases, okay? Okay, this is the difference between each method for solving quadratic equation, okay? Let's solve the practice book. Open with me your practice book. Here, x power 2 plus x equals 12. I want to make it using quadratic formula. Do you remember the quadratic formula? What we're going to do? Did you memorize the quadratic formula? Yes. But we must put it in the standard form. So the plus 12 will go to the other side with negative. So x plus 2 plus x minus 12 equals 0. Then I'm going to identify my elements. A equals what? A equals 1. And B equals also 1. This is A. This is B. And this is C. My C is negative 12. Okay, then I'm going to use the quadratic formula. What's my quadratic formula? Yalla, negative b plus or minus square root b power 2 minus 4ac over 2a. Then I'm going to substitute here. Okay, let's substitute. Okay, negative b, which is negative 1. So, negative 1 plus or minus. Of course, it's x equals. Plus or minus square root b power 2, it's 1. 1 power 1, 1 power 2 is 1. Minus 4 times a. 4 times 1 is 4. 4. 4 times negative 12. 4 times negative 12, 48. Negative 48. Negative 48, and I have a negative, so positive 48. Okay? Over 2a. 2 times a. 2 times 1 is 2. Very good. So my x equals negative 1 plus or minus square root 1 plus 48 is 49. Square root of 49 is what? 7. Very good. Over 2. So I have here what? 2 values, plus or minus. I'm going to split my paper. X equal here, one with positive and the other with negative. Negative 1 plus 7 over 2. Negative 1 plus 7 is 6. 6 over 2 is 3. Very good. And here, negative 1 minus 7 over 2. What negative 1 minus 7? It's negative 8. Negative 8 over 2 is negative 4. Okay? Is negative 4. Okay? Okay, we're going just to make it nicer. So this is x. Don't forget his mine. Okay. So I have here x equals 3 and x equals negative 4. These are my two solutions. Of course, you can solve this equation as easy, so much easy. This is my a, and the b is negative 17, b, and the c is negative 15, c. Then you make it with the formula. Here, this formula. Okay, quadratic formula. You're going to substitute only. Okay? Of course, here equal 3. 3 will go to the other side with negative. And this also, the a is 3, the b is 14, and the c is negative 5. All of this is c. Okay? Then I'm going to substitute also in the quadratic formula. Okay? So you can complete it as homework. Okay? Okay. Thank you very much, grade 9. See you next session. It will be in the revision week. And I hope you you're going to have a nice vacation in Eid, but keep staying at home and have a nice day.